As I've had to extract myself from various groups over the years, I've become somewhat of an expert on this one. This is a twofold mission. One, you've got to extract yourself from the group, and two, you've got to stay well-watered and well-fed spiritually. There are various reasons why you might want to leave a particular group. It could be a person, there could have been an altercation or some sort of thing going on, or it could be a money issue because they're money hungry, whatever. But there's a reason, and it's making you ill. It's making you sick. You realize that every time you got to turn up to this place every Sunday, it's like some kind of battle. Or worse, the place could just be so dead, it's sucking the life out of you. I think for me, one of the main problems is that in these groups, and I'm going to talk about the church group because that's what this question is about, people do not deal with their shadow self or the real reason why they're doing things. And so they project onto you, they see you being confident, and they think, oh, well, that's conceited. No, it's confidence. Confidence is not a sin. And when you leave a group, it takes all your courage because you've been meeting with these people for who knows, every week for a year, 2 years, maybe 10 years. And it takes a lot of courage to separate yourself. So my first thing I do is get off the roster. Whatever reason you have to give. I'm tired, I'm taking up a place that someone else really needs to step up to that place and use that job to better their walk. You will grow, trust me, if you're on roster, because you're going to be in the thick of it. All those games, all those power struggles. And power struggles out in the world, no big deal. You're expecting them. And when you have one, you don't have to see that person every single week unless it's a job, and that's a different story. But you know, turning up every Sunday, everyone's pretending to be, you know, a lovely spiritual Christian person. And there's all this undercurrent going on and it's never addressed and it will make you sick. And oftentimes these kind of power struggles or micro slights out in the world are dealt with straight away. Or a decision can be made that won't be considered a sin or won't be considered a negative to your personality character. It will just be considered something that a normal person would do under those circumstances. But someone doesn't have to come right out and say, well, you're not being very godly about this. You could just do something. It's like, yeah, well. These judgmental people will figure out a way to tell you what they're thinking. You could wire their jaw shut and they'll still figure out a way to tell you. There's this strange kind of parentify, childify situation going on in the church where some people want to be the parents and tell everyone what to do, and other people go along want to be like children and want to be told what to do. And if you want to be an adult to adult kind of person, you're going to stand out and it's going to make people feel uncomfortable. Because of my upbringing in the church, every time I've gone to a church, I have found myself in a leadership position because I'm not the kind of person just to sit around and do nothing. And so, you know, this last church, for example, I was the worship leader. And in that role, I would say things, maybe a minute or so of talking about some attitude or undercurrent that can trip you up. And people were convicted. And one lady came up to me, she said, you know, you really got to stop talking because people are getting upset that it's taking so long. And I said, really? Who? What people? Oh, no one specific has said anything, but I know. No, you don't. You just wish it was you up there saying a little something. There's 2 verses that are going to be trotted out to make you feel bad for leaving a group. And one is, they left the brethren and they didn't come back and therefore we knew they weren't part of us. Actually, there's 3. And the other one is, a person who separates himself from the group is doing so just for his own opinion. And the other one is, it's when, as you see the day approaching, don't give up on meeting together. And if you look at the world around you, it looks like you can see the day approaching. So with each one of these, I simply say, of course I'm still meeting. I haven't given up on meeting with other believers, with other people practicing a Jesus-based faith. I just don't mix in circles where there's some kind of illness going around. This parentify, childify, this shadow self that keeps projecting their junk onto me. It doesn't belong. It doesn't fit. Find yourself some really good preaching online that you love and read the word every single day, reading and praying. They're the 2 things. So there's 31 chapters of Proverbs. I read 1 chapter of Proverbs a day. Today's the 8th. I read Proverbs 8, and I consider it the one with the circle. I love the circle one. Anyway, you'll get to know your favorite parts. I read some of the Gospels, Proverbs, and I'm reading from the beginning right through. So the Gospels, what is Jesus saying? Not what all these other people are saying. What is Jesus saying? Number one. Number two, a chapter of Proverbs per day. And then I call the Old Testament that I'm reading through the stories, because the stories have so many fantastic clues, tips, and tricks on what people are really made of and what you can do about it. Part of my daily prayer is this: Lord, restore me to sanity. Let nothing rule over me. Reveal to me my enemies, both within and without, and what to do about them. I'm dealing with myself on the inside. Therefore, my vision is way more clear to see what's going on the outside. A few more things to say about this one, so I'm going to make a part 2.